Yeah, hello, my people. How you doing? Yeah, my name is Chinedu Anichi, one and only celebrity CSO. And this is Chinedu Anichi TV streaming live from United States of America, to be precise, from St. Louis, Missouri, United States of America. So how are you doing, my people? So how is your day? Yeah, for our great ladies, we appreciate you today, WCW, So, Wednesday Women Crush or Women Crush Wednesday, any which way. What is important is that there are women and there are crushes. so, so I greet all of you, and I want to inform you that today we'll be having an very August, very August guest, August guest in September. So today we'll be having one of our big sisters, a prophetess, the host of a show in Dallas. So a prophetess and a woman of God. Sincerely speaking, we'll be having somebody today who will be speaking to us from a very disposition underlined by truths and sincerity and sound morality. So today we'll be having our great sister um, in the person of Prophetess Francisca Emmanuel. Prophetess Francisca Emmanuel will be on the show today, and very soon we'll bring her in. So, my people, but before we do that, remember our jingle. Who can dance for me? This is the opportunity to share the live video.
Let's talk our talk.
Let's talk our talk.
Africa boys in the diaspora. Chinedu Anichi TV. Voice of the voiceless, yo. Chinedu Anichi TV. Make we talk our talk, yo. Chinedu Anichi TV. Nobody can talk our talk for us, yo. Chinedu Anichi TV. Africans are rise. Them don't reach you. Make we talk our talk, oh. Oh yeah, everybody join the Chinedu TV. Now they eat the apple, no. Now they eat the selenge. We don't talk our mind, yo. As if in a song, we don't talk about. Mama, papa, brother, sister, even know the YouTube. Subscribe and follow Chinedu TV. Eba fukona bono, eba fukona me. But who be the voice of Africa in the diaspora? Chinedu TV. Voice of Africa, what they show. Chinedu TV. Now where we go there. Chinedu TV. Gather your family, call everybody. Chinedu TV. Listen what the one no way go
Yes, so my people, Jude Gabriel, thank you. And just go ahead and share this live video as you're coming. For those of you who are watching on Instagram, those who are watching on YouTube, I am waiting for my guest to ready. I don't know what is keeping her, but I'm very sure she will be here soon. So, my people, let's get ready for Prophetess Francisca Emmanuel. Prophetess Francisca Emmanuel has a show point on her Instagram that deals with marriages, and it is called Get Married and Stay Married. Getting married and stay married. So you get married, you don't leave the marriage. So that is her own ministry. That is her own mission. And that's what she has been using the social media to put out there for the society. And according to her, she has made a lot of impacts and has saved a lot of people from, let me not say destroying or separating, So much love. Where's it called, Bababo? How are you doing? Much love. Thank you. So my people, let's go. As we wait for We are proud of you always. Thank you, Bobon Westover. Thank you, my brother.
Let's talk our talk. Africa boys in diaspora. Chinedu Anichi TV. Voice of the voiceless, yo. Chinedu Anichi TV. Make we talk our talk, yo. Chinedu Anichi TV. Nobody can talk our talk for us, yo. Chinedu Anichi TV. Africa's a rise. Them don't reach you. Make we talk our talk, oh. Oh yeah, everybody join the Chinedu Anichi TV. No day they happen, no. No day they selenge. We don't talk about mind, yo. As you be na so we don't talk about. Mama, papa, brother, sister, even know the YouTube. Subscribe and follow Chinedu Anichi TV. Eba fukona bolu, eba fukona man. I will be the voice of Africa in diaspora. Chinedu Anichi TV. Voice of Africa, one nation. Chinedu Anichi TV. Now where we go there. Chinedu Anichi TV. Gather your family, call everybody. Chinedu Anichi TV. Listen what the one
Yes, so my people, you can see we have Prophetess Francisca Emmanuel in the house. I love her sense of punctuality, and my people, as you see, as they happen now. So all we need to do is share this live video, get involved, get practically involved. Let's listen to this oracle of God. Listen to this modifier and the repairer of threatened marriages. Listen to this person who have leveraged social media to restore married marriages, consolidate it, and maintain its continuity. And today, she is live on Chinedu Anichi TV, the African voice in diaspora.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here, Mr. Chinedu. Thank you, sir. For having me here today. It's exciting, and I'm happy to be on this platform. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Prophetess. You're good. You're great. We appreciate you so much. We've been seeing what you're doing. We don't just invite any kind of person in our show. So, but you worth inviting. The essence of this platform is that a lot of stories have been told about Africans.
Mm-hmm.
The Europeans have written books. The Europeans have made movies. The white man have done a lot of things, written books, made movies, told stories about Africa. So, and when Chinua Achebe of the blessed memory was recapping once time, the great novelist, he said that when a story of any people are told, or their stories are told without them, it will never end without prejudice. So that the best thing is for the owner of the story to tell his or her own story. So we created this platform for Africans to tell their own story. And that is why we said it's an African voice in diaspora. So we give voice to the voiceless. Those who could not reach CNN, those who could not reach all these great and wonderful social media platforms, they can come here and talk to the African community. So you are one of us. You are one of our celebrities. And today, it is your turn for Africans to hear your own voice.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I do appreciate. I've been watching, your programs and all. I can say you're doing a very good job of keeping things real, bringing the people you bring to tell their stories and the interviews. These are the kind of platform I would advise, people to, watch and, be a part of. You're doing something very wonderful. And I think when you reached out to me last month, and and he told me a few things about my platform as well. I was like, okay, I had to read more about you and saw your platform. I was like, okay, wow. And you see, there's something I really, took from that. One of the things we suffer in Africa is the spirit of competition. We suffer from that. Everybody wants to be better than the other, and no one wants to help the other get better in what you're doing or enhance the other person. But that's a virtue I came to notice about you, that, the spirit of competition. Yeah, we all strive to, do better, but I saw something incredible about you. And that's why I'm on this platform. I gotten so many invites, to be on some platform, and I usually kind of respectfully turn them down, because as a woman of God, there's certain platform you wouldn't want to, just be in and everything. But when I saw what you were doing and how you reach out to me and everything, I said, okay, he's a good man. I would really, really love to be here and have
Yeah,
this
thank
chat
you.
with you.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Prophetess.
much.
Thank
And
you.
those that watches others, God also have a way of watching them. When you try to lift somebody up, they may not necessarily pay you back, but God brings somebody else to do that for you. So thank you. I can only pray that God will continue to elevate you in every aspect of your life, continue to bless you, that you yourself get out of the blessings, and like, God is too much now. That's my prayers for you today. Thank you.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. So, as one of our celebrities, we just have to go into, but you see, each time people come here, we use the opportunity to teach people with their lives. Like, if you touch African celebrities, they have always had experience of the story that led to their glory. Last time I brought Daddy Shoki, he reminded me how we stayed in Ajegule, and how he was picking iron from dustbin. And last time I brought Abba Frayo, he still told me the story of Ajegule. Last time, many people have brought here. If you touch Osime, as one of the most celebrated Nigeria striker in the world, he will tell you, I hawked pure water in Lagos. If you touch Simaya, he has a story. If you touch Chief Priest, he has a story. So today, can you just give us a little background of how it projected from Nigeria to America and anchoring a very big evangelical platform of this sort in Dallas?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. And I don't know, I usually don't like declining things, but I think I would really, really not want to be called a celebrity, because I'm not a celebrity. I'm just,
But
anyway.
but am I entitled to the choice of my word
Okay, I leave that to you, sir.
as far as it's not infringing on your fundamental human right?
Okay, I just like to be very simple, but I just leave everything to you. But thank you so much. I know you're very good at, making people feel so good and beautiful. But I thank you. Um, yes, I just want to thank God for everything. And I think I would thank God and thank my husband, the both of them. Uh, how I graduated from, just being me and to being what I am today. I would give that credit to God and my husband. Years ago, are you here, Mr. Chinedu? I can't see you on the
And
screen.
with you, and with you,
Okay.
I just want to project only you.
Oh, okay. All
That's
right.
how the
So,
features work.
okay. So years ago, I think I was just that, regular person or girl that didn't really know she was called into the ministry. And I know a couple of, God's prophets and prophetess that told me, look, you just do your thing, but we'll see you holding the microphone, a golden microphone, and you're going to be in the ministry. And I'll decline. I'm like, no, I'm not at all. But you have a gift. Yes, I knew I had this gift of seeing things. And but I didn't really know that God was calling me into the ministry, into the prophetic ministry, and into marriages as well. And I'll just say, no, Sister Martina. Then I'll say, oh, no, mommy, don't worry. And when God blesses me with money, What I'm going to do is I'm going to be a blessing to the church. I'm going to give the church a lot of money and build, ministries and everything. But I did not know that myself was going to hold a microphone. And, till this day, sometimes she, comes into my inbox. I'm like, I told you. I say, yes, ma'am. So, but thank God, my destiny aligned with my husband and he found me. And the funny thing is, when we met, he didn't tell me he was a pastor. So he just came like this very regular guy and started talking and chatting. Sometimes he would just throw something at me, and I'm like, okay, how did you know this? This is just beyond you being a regular person. And he would laugh. So he's a prophet too, but he didn't want me to know. Or probably he was thinking, if I tell her I'll pastor, there's a way she might. So we just got talking, but I started sensing the spirit of God in him and the way he talks. And sometimes my husband would talk and I'll pick the phone and, write down what he's saying. Then my friend, he wasn't my husband then, we were just talking. And one day he said, you know, you're going to hold a microphone as a woman of God. And immediately I said, God forbid. That's what I said. And he laughed. And then we didn't continue that communication, that conversation actually. But, here am I today. We got married. She brought me here. Later, though, in the relationship, he made me know, his ministry and what he's been doing. He's called into the deliverance ministry and he's been doing wonders. As in, God has been using him to do wonders in the life of people, setting people free and everything from bondages. So I later started loving, ministry through my husband. And there's so many things I would say he did in my life. The man is the deliverer of the wife, and that's why I'm having this event, get married, stay married. There's a lot that's going to happen there, and I need men to know more of their responsibility because I would say my husband kind of polished me to the kind of woman he wanted me to be, the kind of person that will fit his ministry. And here am I today. I just want to thank God for everything. Although at some point there were so many things that were going on in my own life personally. Some diagnoses of you can't have a child, and I told myself I can't get married to this man. Who This is an Igbo man, and he's coming to the U.S. He's bringing me to the U.S. and he's a little bit like a few years older than me. If you get married now they say you can have a child. What is the family going to say? What are people going to say? So it's rather I would rather hide myself. There's so many people that has lost out on so many things because of their situation. They rather not take the risk. You know, you need to take that risk. Don't be like me. Then I said, oh no, I would rather just stay alone and don't get married. At least nobody's gonna know that the doctor said I have polycystic ovary or whatever. I can't have children. But something happened. He came to Nigeria one time. I think that was the first time he came to see me. The funny thing is, we were talking, and in less than 2 weeks, he said, "Look, I want to get married to you." I'm like, "Look at you. Is it a joke?" But he was serious, and he came back the next year. We met December. He came back the next year. So the first time he came, he took me to a friend's church where he was invited as a guest, and then he was doing things, and I was seeing anointing and deliverance and things speaking out of people. Then I said, "Okay, I think I have just found my own solution provider too. I will get married to this man." And that was when I made up my mind, and I'm happy I did marry him. So yes, I don't know if you're picking things from what I'm saying. Your husband is also your
Sure,
solution provider.
sure, sure.
Yeah. So the man that God has, given you, has brought your way, is also your solution provider. There's so many things the man stands for in our lives that we don't just know. There's so many things. But that's our story. Today I'm here in the US. We have a ministry in Dallas, Texas, and he's doing his ministry. I'm trying to go into the deliverance ministry with him. He's teaching me what he's doing, but I realized my gift through him that I'm into the prophetic ministry, and also from life experiences, from studies, and from a lot of people that I've been able to touch their lives and marriages all over the world. I decided to host this event that I'm doing right now. Not just have it online, but at least have a place where people can come meet with me and other anointed people of God, and get their issues taken care of maritally. We don't want divorces. We don't want divorces. So yes.
Okay, that's great.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So I just highlighted you so that when you are talking, people can concentrate
Oh,
on you.
thank you. You're
That's
a
one of the
gentleman. You're very
that's one
gentleman.
of the features that this TV has. So
Thank you.
um, that's great. Today we'll be having a little bit of interview that will be centered on your ministry and
Okay.
the what you anchor and the upcoming 28th September Dallas um, marriage show, live show in Dallas. So that will be our area of concentration, and it's going to come like an interview. I'll be
Okay.
asking some questions, and then where you have a good, where you have an answer, you can give. Where you don't want to answer, you can decline. Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
All
so,
right.
so, um, you are Prophetess Francisca. You are sure get married, stayed married has been a beacon of hope for many couples and singles seeking lasting relationships. What inspired you to create this platform? And what unique perspective do you bring to the conversation on marriage and relationships in your show?
Okay. Thank you for that question. Now, I got my inspiration based on what is happening today in the world. The rate of divorce, is going higher, and most men are saying we don't want to get married. Why? Women are this, women are that, women are like this. A woman has dealt with me. This is what a woman did to me, and everything. So I said, look, this is the plan of the devil for mankind. The first institution, in marriage was, God Himself ordained marriage, right? He was the one that instituted the first marriage we have, on earth. That's when He saw Adam and said, look, I've given you everything that you need. Because Adam didn't even know what he needed, but, God gave him everything He felt Adam needed, gave him dominion over everything. So I would say that the first man on earth was comfortable. He had wealth, he had food, he lacked nothing. But God saw him and said, look, there's something you lack. And I'm speaking to the men. You might say, I don't need a woman, I don't need a wife. I have money, I would just get random girls and do this, but that's not God's plan. You're going against it. So God said, okay, you know what? It's not good for this young man that I have created to live alone by himself. I need to do something for him. I need to create, bring out a help meet for him. Yes. It means that the man still had a need. And God knew that the man will have a need, and He needed somebody to help him meet those needs. Then He caused the man to sleep and made Eve from the side of his ribs. But today, I want you guys to also know that whatever God is interested in, the devil is also interested in that same thing. Okay? So He made this beautiful woman for Adam and say, you know what? She's going to be your helpmeet. They were living all good in love and everything until the same devil came, tried to put asunder by causing them to sin, giving Eve the apple, and Eve eating the apple that God has told Adam do not eat, and causing them to lose the motherland, which is the Garden of Eden. Okay? But there's something I want us to take from that. Even though they got, punished for that, the same man did not leave the woman that caused him to sin. He stood by her. They went through the situation together. The Bible did not record where they said Eve left Adam or got divorced or that Adam left Eve for God of us. So, with everything that has happened, with the punishment, the curses, with losing everything that they had gotten, they still held, still to themselves. So I think the only thing that was left was just them. They had themselves. They were driven out, but they did not leave themselves. So if our foreparents, Adam and Eve, actually went through everything together, continue to have kids together, love themselves to the end together, what's happening today in our marriages? I'm sure some of the divorces we're having today, if you look at the reason why they're divorcing, it's not even half an inch. It's not close to what happened back then. You know what it means? Losing everything, actually. Losing your inheritance. Losing, like completely losing everything. And you still did not leave the woman. The woman did not leave the man. So we need to restore these marriages today. That's the zeal, that's the inspiration for this whole thing. I want us to try to tolerate ourselves, try to love ourselves the more, and try to be there for ourselves. There's so much about this event there's just so much that I can't even say right now because I want, should I say it's a little secret, but there's just going to be so much that people are going to see here. And to the men that are saying, we don't want to get married, you cannot do without a woman. Even the Bible says that he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. There are certain blessings that will not come your way until you're settled with your wife. Okay? Because whether you like it or not, there's still something missing. That is your missing ribs. Your missing rib is not your girlfriend. It's not the baby mamas you just have everywhere. The missing rib is the wife. God honors marriages and he blesses them. And that's why when you get married, you have the certificate to obtain what? Favor from God. Okay? I'm not saying you cannot be favored if you're not married, but there is this kind of favor that comes when you're married. Then you can carry your certificate and say, look, it's like taking a certificate to somewhere and say, hey, look, I'm a graduate right now, so can I get a job? So
Wow.
that's the inspiration right now. And I have a program that people just come and say everything. And sometimes I go behind, I pray and I laugh. I was like, what? Is this what is going on right now? We need to change the narrative. We just really need to. It's just in the part of misunderstanding between the woman and the man. So we need to change the narrative. That's what this program is about. Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Prophetess. The program is inspired by your biblical sense of marriage, per se, and the Christian principles of marriage. Um, if I may ask, I would say, as a prophetess, how do you integrate your spiritual gift, the understanding of the scripture, in the advice you give in this your show? Can you share example of how it has influenced one or two persons, maybe out of testimony or a feedback to you as the show has been going on?
Yes. So first of all, I have a lot of people who would say, mommy, we need a wife. The funny thing first that I would say is there are more men that need wives than women that need husbands. Because on my inbox, and people will message me, people will send me a DM and emails. Like I would say 70% of them are men saying they want wives. And I would ask, so are there no wives? I don't understand what's going on. Because from my understanding, we have more women than men. And what's going on? And and there's so many people too that by the grace of God, my ministry has been able to restore their marriages. So many. And my ministry has also helped me. I'm gonna, say my part. I have daughters who would say that I did not forgive my husband until I met you. You know. until you told me the things you said.
I
And
didn't
then
hear
you
what
told,
he said. What did he say?
okay, I said, I have people. Can you hear me right now?
Nah, very well
Yeah.
now.
I have women that would say to me that I could not forgive my husband until I met you. I was able to forgive my husband after you spoke to me for years. So imagine living with somebody that is your husband without complete forgiveness for years. I have, people whose marriages had, I would say, already ended. Families had, intervened, and nothing happened until, we sat down and we started talking. Some of them by phone, counseling and prayers by phone. And the beautiful thing about my ministry is when we are talking, I'm different from a counselor because a counselor just gives you what they've read from the book. But when you read from the Holy Spirit, when the Holy Spirit tells you things and interprets things, it's way, way bigger. So I've not just read from the book, but I also hear from God. So sometimes when I get to talk to people about their marriages, I start telling them certain things and then they'll be quiet. I'm like, okay, yes, you're right. I'm like, okay. So you see that the place you're looking at is not actually where the problem is coming from. Look at here. This is where the problem is coming from. So you're looking at the wrong direction. And then I go ahead and tell them some things about them, sometimes maybe about families, their foundations or something like that that they can relate to. And they're like, okay, I now understand. So when we do that, I don't just talk, we get to pray. And before you know it, this marriages are restored. And that's why we're having people, coming from other areas of, the United States and saying, what, we've got to be here. Bought their ticket and said, we cannot miss here. I'm stressed out because until last night they're still calling. Okay, this, that, and all. We're coming from this place. I say you need just come. It's fine. And also through my platform that I have insights. Um, the funny thing about Insight is when I started, I just wanted, I had a lot of people saying, can you pray for me? Can you pray for me? I have these issues. I'm like, okay, you need to come out. I'm going to have Insight. Is just come talk to me. Then I'll just pray for you so I can attend to people. I started doing like, I think Fridays. But then I said that people were coming and now expressing themselves and expressing their hearts. I'm like, okay. And then converted it from talk to me to Insights because I can tell you it's a learning platform. People come and vent out their anger. I hear them because some people say this the church is too fake now. So I say, okay, let's come out. Let's live and be in the reality of people. That's how we can help them. And so many people, some are coming and say, look, you know what, before I came to your platform, I was depressed. It's going through a divorce. The woman has just ruined my life and everything. Nothing is working. But when I came to your platform and we started having these conversations, I became addicted and I started healing. So there's so many transformation that has occurred through what I'm doing. And that's why I said we need to have an event. You all need to come. We need to talk. We need to fix marriages. And those who are saying, I don't want to get married, this is the time for them to get married. And myself, my ministry as a woman of God has actually helped me also. My platform has also helped me because I, through my platform, realized that, I told my husband one time, I said, look, I felt I was dealing with just you. So I felt, oh my gosh, marriage, Jesus Christ, in my next life, I won't get married. But when I heard what people say out there, what guys are saying, men are saying, and women are like, okay, you're actually the best man on earth. You're the most perfect man on earth. He started laughing. I'm like, yeah, so this has actually really taught me to and, helped me better my own marriage. Uh, there are certain things I would not do because of my ministry right now. I'm like, okay, no, what are people going to say? So you are like a savior to others and they're looking up to you. So you have to live up to the expectation. So it just really helps me too in, my marriage. And my gifts as a woman of God, I have told myself it will not be applicable to my marriage, you know. Or then, it's very funny how it sounds, but then uh, in my early stage of marriage, then I can just wake up and say, um, how is this person? Or let's say, for example, I can just look and say, okay, how is Ijoma? I hope she's fine. Um, and my husband like, okay, what are you talking about? I said, well, I just heard Ijoma in my spirit, and I hope she's fine. You're like, who is Ijoma? I'm like, okay, is this person? You know this person? And I was like, who is this person? And later he finds out that, well, I heard the name truly, and he knows the Ijoma. Probably he's not spoken to the person for a while, but he actually knows the person, so I'm right. Okay. And it felt sometimes like I was really seeing too much. I can call my husband now. Oh, you're in Arlington, right? Are you on your way back? And one day he said, don't stop it. Don't be seeing me. Just go and see. Go and be doing just see other things elsewhere. I was like, okay. So I said that, very God, please don't give me prophecies about my own marriage. Give me about others that you want to fix things to. And yes, so as a woman of God, we also need to control. Sometimes you can tell God to do something and He does it, right? He listens. You say, Lord, please, I beg, this area, there's certain things I don't want to just see. Just take it away. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know about it. Yeah, but this area, yes, it's fine. And He does it. So yes, it's been so many stories about myself too, and and everything. Well, the next question, I thought you said it's 1 hour, right? I hope I'm not taking too much time, answering part of your questions, one of your questions. I can't hear you.
I said we're just 37 minutes in the show.
Okay, okay.
Okay. There's time now. You can see time up there. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So, that's great. Thank you. And that's the reality of what we do, because the essence of social media, apart from what you do in the church,
Yeah.
practically, the essence of social media is to impact, is to add value to the society.
Yes.
Let's just ignore what other ways is coming and the buzzwords and all those things. It's for them, but for those who really want to cultivate value in the society, I think social media is one of the best tools you can use.
Yeah.
And from what you have told us now, you can see you have a positive feedback. And we pray that you continue. So I want to come to what you are going to do on the 28th. Your show is going live on the 28th in Dallas. What are the guests expecting? And what's the special way that the event will go that is going to, let me say, address the specific concerns about those who bring their relationship problem or great expectations of a relationship in Dallas? I wish I'll be there in Dallas.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. I know we spoke about it, and yeah. You're coming with a representative because that is booked. So yeah. So it's still you. Being here. There's so much to expect from this program. There's so much that I'm already feeling overwhelmed. There's so much to expect. One thing I'm gonna also say prophetically here is that I don't care the stage at which that marriage is right now, but if you walk in through that door, it's gonna be resolved. I don't think anybody will come here and still say, "Oh, well, we experienced a divorce a month later." Of it's power packed. There's gonna be impartation, but because I don't want it to look too, I want everybody to be okay and be able to come for it. There's going to be other exciting programs and events. We're having music here. We're going to have a DJ. We're going to have music. We'll have, Tito the Fire, Kelly and Sam, and Aaron Tieran. They are musicians. We also have a comedian who's going to be here. He's the MC of the day. We'll have a guest speaker, Bishop Kate Cowers, and we'll also have another pastor, a male, Pastor Daniel Chinosa, and myself, and also my husband. We want people to actually get married. That's one of the things guests, both women and men, are, going to expect. One day I went out with one of my daughters and I said, okay, let me join you guys and just get hanging out flyers. And it's so funny. Some people said, "Oh, I know you. What's your program?" I'm like, "Okay." I said, "Next time I'm going to put on some big goggles so nobody recognizes me." But the feedback we got was so good. Like some men were like, "Okay, wow, we love this." I said, "If you're not married, you have to." They started laughing. Like, "We're going to come. We want to get married. Are we going to see beautiful women there that have good characters and everything that we can get married to?" I said, "Yes, this is the event for you. So just come." So some ladies too, like, okay, I'm this age, I'm 33 years old, I'm 28 years old, I want to get married. Are you sure there's going to be some good guys here? I say, yes, let's come. Okay? Because when you come, it's not just about meeting somebody. That's not just, all about it. You're going to learn how to be a good wife when you get married and be a good husband when you get married. And we want to wash out that mentality of, I don't need a woman or I don't need a wife. And the mentality of women forming Miss Independent because you're in the US, you are working, probably making good money, and you're saying, I don't need a husband. No, those mentality, we want to take them out. So the greatest deliverance you can give any man is the deliverance of the mindset. Okay? The deliverance of the mindset. And that's where the devil fights, God's children to just bring a kind of a way of thinking and deprive them from what God actually wants or how God wants them to think. So that's what this program is about. And it's also for those who are married. So that's why it's called Get Married, Stay Married. So if you come, you should expect that if you're married, you're going to stay married. I've never told anybody divorce your husband. I'm never going to do that. Because I know that no matter how big the situation is, there is a solution to that situation. So it's kind of a solution kind of program too. And if your marriage is so sweet, you can't tell me there's no time you've ever frowned your face. But if there is a time you've never frowned your face and everything is still so beautiful, we still need you, to come for the program. It's for you. We want you to add salt to that marriage, add some spices and everything to it. I was telling my husband in church on Sunday and said, you know what, in this program, I'm going to sing you a love song. And I was practicing it with Kelly and some here. I said, Kelly, you know what, please be on the keyboard and let's sing. I don't have a good voice, but I'm going to try. So I started to la 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 la. My husband looked at me like, okay. So that's what it's about. We want to teach us how to actually really be in love, walk in love, stand by each other. We are lacking these things in marriages today. This is going to fix us. It's going to fix us. This program is not going to attack any gender, but it's going to attack the issue. That's what it's going to do. Nobody's blaming the man for anything. Nobody's going to blame the woman for anything. But we're going to take the blame to the devil. We're going to take the blame to the problems, and we're going to kick it out. So it's a transformation kind of program. That's my ministry, transform lives and people. So expect all those things from this program, and expect to also walk through the red carpet, saying what you want to say that day if you want to, and have a nice time, meet people, listen to us, talk to me personally on that day. You can also talk to the other guests that I have, and talk to my husband as well. And also, there's a lot of music and a lot of refreshment, food, everything is going to be there. And the beautiful thing about this thing is I told you earlier that I'm not just into the talk thing. We need to get solutions after talking. And that's why as a woman of God, this I so thank God for this gift because we're going to see to the spiritual and physical need. Most problems you see in marriages today have spiritual backings, but people don't even know. thank God that's why I'm having my husband as well on this program. He's big on deliverance. So on that day, while you have your high heels, you might just be so shocked that we have a handshake with you and you can still manifest and something gets out. Because we want to take care of the problem from the root. We don't know how God is going to move, but He has promised that He would move. You will get delivered from this program. You will get the greatest impartation from this program. You will get blessed. You get an exciting time. You get to meet people. You get to eat whatever you want to eat and drink. And then you're going to dance back home and have some rest. And at the end of the day, you're going to be happy. At the back of your mind, you're going to say, yeah, please, we're looking for when is the next event happening. But it's just going to be once a year because we have to tour the whole world. And Nigeria is expecting us as well to have this event. So, yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Prophetess Francisca, and we so much appreciate you. And before we come back, we want to come back to the question. Few questions we'll ask you, but
Hmm.
before we come back, let's just do justice to what we do here, and that's the time to well.
Let's talk our talk. Africa boys in the diaspora. Chinedu Anichi TV. Voice of the voiceless, yo. Chinedu Anichi TV. Make we talk our talk, yo. Chinedu Anichi TV. Nobody can talk our talk for us, yo. Chinedu Anichi TV. Africans arise. Time don't reach you. Make we talk our talk, yo. Oh yeah, everybody join the Chinedu Anichi TV. Now they eat the apple, no. Now they eat the selenge. We don't talk about mind, yo. As if in a song, we don't talk about. Mama, papa, brother, sister, even know the YouTube. Subscribe and follow. Chinedu Anichi TV. Eba for corner, but eba for corner. I will be the voice of Africa in diaspora. Chinedu Anichi TV. Voice of Africa, what they show. Chinedu Anichi TV. Now where we go there. Chinedu Anichi TV.
Yes, so this is the African Voice in Diaspora. Person no go talk our own talk, we go talk our talk by ourselves. So welcome, Mama. So I want to go to this question. What's the because Christianity is all about exemplary life. Which kind of story or which kind of testimony or which kind of empirical observable incident can you use to back up the claim that what you are saying to others is also happening in your family?
Mm. That's a very good question. One of the evidence is that I'm still staying married, and that's one. And it's not because it's all been perfect, but because I've learned to. I've made my own mistakes too in the past. Because the thing is, I didn't really. I got started living with my husband when we were married. So we met online, and we just were only talking on the phone. And then he came back and saw me, met my people, and the next year he came back and paid my dowry and everything like that. And then I joined him. So I would say we started living with each other when we got married. And you can imagine two people from different backgrounds. He's from he's Igbo and from Cross River, and you just start living with each other. You can imagine the little conflict. So the early years of my marriage was kind of bumpy too, and uh, and My husband is from Enugu, and I'm from Crossover. He's kind of older than me, and in the marriage, he still um, expected that kind of respect. Like, I'm not your mate. He would say it sometimes, I'm not your mate. And me now, as a woman, I was like, which one be say you don't be my mate now? So you don't say don't my mate, why you come marry me now? You understand? You see people marry now, they don't be mates. So an Igbo man doesn't want to hear that. You understand? You have to respect an Igbo man. So he had
Ije nwoke abụrụ my mind.
so so I think I'm also part of I have my own experience. So I would like to, I'm saying this because I don't like people coming and pretending like they've all been perfect. And you cannot teach somebody what you've not experienced most times. That's why they say experience is the best teacher, right? And when you've gone through things in life, it is called a lesson. It's called a lesson for a reason. It doesn't make you less or lessen you, but it's called a lesson. A lesson is teachable. A lesson is what you take out there to a generation of people who may not have experienced the same thing because you do not want them to pass the same route or experience the same thing. So when you have a lesson, you become a blessing to people. You understand? And so I have learned my own lessons and I continue to modify. And I thank God for the gift of the Holy Spirit, and being in the ministry has also really helped, a lot of things in my life and that of my husband. But before you become a man of God, you are still a man. And that's what Paul said, things I don't want to do are the things I find myself doing. That's the man in you, right? And the things I don't want to do, the things I find myself doing, and the things I want to do, I don't even find myself doing that. So we must acknowledge the parts that we are also men, and we have flesh and blood. So those early stage of the marriage are like, okay, this. And also at the early stage of the marriage, I told myself that I didn't even know I could talk until I got married. I used to be more of, I think the only thing people would say they identified me with in my university days or something is she's always smiling and always laughing. It's marriage that taught me how to talk, because I began to talk about every issue. You know, if this one is not appropriate, I began to talk too much, and that's not good in marriage. You know, in marriage, that's, I think, the reason why God gave us two ears and one mouth is to listen more and talk less. But these days in marriages, we tend to talk more and listen less. You know, there's been some hitches and all, but I have been able to survive the storms. My husband has been able to survive the storms, and we are staying married. I have four children, and I bless God for that and all. So we have a beautiful family, but we've made our mistakes in the early stage. And he started, even that the Bible even tell the man, say, make he study the woman, that the man should understand the woman. The woman, we were like books, you have to understand it. And the Bible has told the man, understand the woman. So he had to learn how to understand my own personality too, you know, and how I act. For example, then I'm somebody that those days when I'm angry, and that's why I tell people, when you're angry, please do not act. Okay, I know how to send messages a lot. Like when I'm angry, then because my husband has learned not to talk, and he might just go out. So the next thing he will see on his phone is a text message from me, and that text message will trigger, and he might send me one, and I'll like, good one, good one, good one. I will respond again to the next message, and he might send me one, and I'll say, good. But guess what? It's the messages he sends to me that will remember, or it's not my own. I started it, but it's his own that I get to talk about for the rest of the week. You understand? So those are the things that, there's so many things I as well have to learn in marriage. So, but he has now learned to not just to not only not respond to my messages, but to not even read them. So anytime I'm angry, then if I send my husband a message, he doesn't read it at all. Sometimes he might just press the delete button and just delete it because he knows that the message might come with something that would, he wouldn't like at that time. So when he's not responding, I now get angrier because I was expecting a response so I can attack again and all. So, that one will not pain me. I'll not call him. Did you see my message? He said, what is in the message because I'm not reading it? I will not be begging him, please go and read it. Inside that message, I wrote something important that you will like. You say, tell me the important thing on the phone as I'm talking to you now. I said, but read it yet. I wrote something about the child or our children or the school, So that's to take him to go and read it. But he would not. He said, tell me the thing. So for me and he will now start laughing on the phone. I'll say, so you fear my message, Abby? He said, we'll not go for your message now. I don't have strength. I don't have threats. So I said, okay. So, we just, before we reconciled based on how he would tell me the thing. I need to read them. I'll now start laughing. So we found ways to just live with each other and modify each other, and we were waxing strong. So the things I'm saying out there are part of the things I've been able to revolve from, learned and put in my past. I've also learned that one of the things that kills our marriages is that we open our mouth and close our heart. Okay, we tend to pay back. Marriage is not about payback. Even if the man is not righteous, even if the man is wrong, you are not expected to react based on the action. You ask yourself, what did Jesus do? Somebody say, if the man is not perfect, that is why God brought you into his life. It's called redemptive love, right? We're not perfect when God, gave his life for us to redeem us, right? So you can marry an imperfect man, continue to do what you're doing. And again, another thing in marriage, you think we can change the man. The man has not changed, or the woman has not changed. When you open your heart, that's saying you're telling God, please tell me what to do. He changes, he tells you to change yourself. Leave the man, leave the woman. So in marriage, instead of thinking and being angry about other person not changing, focus on changing yourself. That's what God wants. You first. Change yourself and continue to love the other person. I was just going to quickly read something from the Bible in 1 Peter 3, verses 1 to 2. Wives, in the same way, submit yourself to your husband, so that if any of them do not believe the word, they may be won over without words by the behavior of their wives, when they see the purity and the reference of your lives. You understand what the Bible is saying here? The Bible is not saying that wives, cuss out your husband, fight him when he's not perfect, or when he offends you, or when he's treating you illy or bad. The Bible is still saying that even when that man is not perfect, you, the wife, continue to do your job. We don't understand that marriage is also a command. Marriage is a command. But some of us don't know. God is interested in it. And that's why the enemy too is interested. He said, you, the wife, submit. Oh, your husband is cheating, your husband is bad. You're supposed to help build that man. You decide to build only yourself, so you're not helping the man. You have God to answer. That's not submission. He said you are the helpmeet. He has always known that the man will definitely have a lack. And that's what you were created for. So I don't think in marriage there's an excuse to exclude the man in what you're doing. You must learn to love him at all times and learn to have the man as your first child. None of us throw away our children. I have people that call me everywhere from the world. Their children have addiction. And if you see how those people are still fighting for these children, and yet you don't want to fight for your husband, or you don't want to fight for your wife. You just see how one or two things. You just, okay, I've given up. I have never seen an institution where people do not take the order as themselves. And I beg, I don't have time. I've given up. I have my life to live. You don't have any life to live. That life is with you and your spouse. You are both accountable for each other. That's what you don't know. Adam was accountable for Eve. So, yeah. So, my ministry is also helping my own marriage. It has helped me build. I learned from my mistakes. Now I know my husband. He has, I would say he's an easy person if you want to have, if you understand him. Just even if you think something is not wrong, is not right, don't shout. You will not listen. In short, don't even address it then. Address it later. These are some tips in marriages that we don't know. We want to give the bars for the bulls. And men don't accept anything. Even man did not accept he did any wrong before God. So sometimes in marriage, we try to hold on to that thing. Accept it, you did it. The man will never come to you and say, I accept. He would go other ways. So these are some values I have learned implementing in my marriage. And I know that, there's so much, it's just a little, so much to put out there, to help fix our marriages. Thank you so much, Mr. Chinedu.
What do you think is the most significant challenges the marriage of the Gen Zs are passing through? And what's your advice? Because I can say you're a professional with experience. What is the most significant? We know we have a lot of things, a lot of factors, but there is the most significant. I can put it out like the social media influence. So that's the most significant um, situation that affects marriage among the Gen Zs. So, what's your advice about that?
Um, okay. Well, let me come like this. One of the significant, issues we're having now that is affecting marriage, I don't know if I would go with the social media influence in marriages as one of them. I would say that is the lack of the fear of God, first of all. That's one of the things. I know, yes. Because I would say that if we know God more and fear Him, there are certain things we will not do in our marriages, not because of the other person, but because of God. We want to be accountable. So accountability is lost in marriage, and most times people don't fear God. Then also, yes, social media influence in the Jay-Z now is affecting marriages because people are looking at the falsified informations that are presented to them on social media and trying to live their personal life with it. Whereas the person presenting those informations might be doing it for views or for money or for recognition. But you don't understand. You're now using it, adapting to it, and using it to live your life. You're making a very big mistake. If you are allowing social media influence your marriage, you are making a very big mistake. Because I want to tell you, most of the people out there that are putting up some things, the men or the women are perfect wives and husbands at home. Some of them even plan those things and come out and do it for money or for something. And you're always making references to them. Okay, see how this person is living and everything. So, social media is meant to enhance things. But you ask yourself, in your life, what is it enhancing? Is it bad behavior or good behavior? And also, I think social media has also kind of affected the men sometimes and also the women. A lot of flirting right now is happening. And that's also affecting marriages. Because you can't look at some men, their phone right now. Pictures, I know people from London and everything that said she bumped into her husband's phone and nudes and everything from social media. And also, women are over dating right now because if you find a woman, too many people can inbox you so you get to talk. For example, I met my husband on social media. So, I met him on social media on Facebook actually. From a comment section, the late Mr. Ibu, because I knew him. I met with him once or twice, so I knew him. And then we're friends on Facebook. And I think he made a remarks one time about men of God. And I, out of thousands of comments, my comment was kind of different. I said no, I don't believe in what he said then, about that. So my husband liked it and inboxed me and like, hey, I saw your comment, it was different from others. I was like, oh yeah, I don't agree with that. So got talking. To understand, people also get married on social media. So I met my husband on social media on Facebook and on a comment session. So do not allow social media influence your marriage. A lot of women are wanting to do what celebrities are doing. Some of the celebrities you're seeing, the women that are saying that they need millions, they need this one, their husband is giving them this one, they're flaunting them. Some of those women are actually the ones taking care of their husbands. Some of those women are actually the ones, doing things in the marriage and trying to keep it up. So don't allow it. I know it's influencing so many people. A lot of girls these days can't maintain a relationship because they are aiming higher. If you're just a regular guy right now, you cannot date some girls. Social media has made everybody a celebrity. Girls showing themselves and men looking for every whole rider. But please, if it's enhancing your life, make sure it's enhancing your life positively and not negatively. And do not stay too much on social media, please. Don't live there. There are some people there's people that don't even have a relationship with God again because of social media. Some people don't have time for their husbands or for their wives or for their children because of social media. I know husbands who are complaining. The last time we were talking, a woman asked a question on my life that I should keep her name personal. That if you're a social media person and then you get married right now and your husband has issues with you being on social media, what should you do? So we have questions like that. We have people who are worried. Men are worried about their women's, social media presence, and women too are worried about their men's social media presence. I have women who would say that their husband is following girls too much on social media. He's liking this girl with this one, but up this girl with this one, and he's chatting with them. So please.
Yeah, thank you. I think the cultural, there's this question I want to ask, and this will be we'll wrap up the question, then you give a shout out to whoever you want, and address the people officially, inviting every other person who will listen to this online or offline to Dallas, because I know it's going to be a mind blowing encounter that I
Yeah.
know is going to produce some matrimonial um, results
Yeah.
instant. So, um, for those of you who are interested, please send me a DM, or you follow on Facebook. You follow Francisca Emmanuel on Facebook,
Official.
on Instagram.
Official. Oh yes.
I
Yes.
know what I'm saying. On
Yeah.
Instagram, you follow official Francisca Emmanuel on Instagram. On Facebook, it's Francisca Emmanuel on Facebook. So you go there, send her a DM, or you can call my WhatsApp on this thing. I'll send you a direction. Um, just go to Dallas and have a mind blowing encounter that will remain indelible in your marriage. Just like she testified when she started, she had a lot of gallops, just like myself and whoever is married. If you're sincere, you know it's not rosy from beginning, but with the grace of God and with openness to learn and study each other. Marriage is a very difficult thing. First of all, I want people not to think that marriage is a place of enjoyment. Marriage
No.
is, so when I hear people say, I want to enjoy my marriage, I look at them as people who don't have consciousness. Marriage is a task. Marriage is a responsibility.
Yes.
So marriage is not. There's a statement I made yesterday in my post. I say, "Ije woke abro, you are good on bed." That's not marriage. So because it's a task given to man by God to go into it's an instruction. So it's a task. And when no task goes without shouldering responsibility. So
Yeah.
if you are going into marriage expecting wonderful ecstasies, that is, and one of the reasons I want to use this forum to add to what you have been teaching us is that one of the big problems in this dispensation is that
Hmm.
people don't prepare for marriage, people prepare for wedding.
Wedding, yes.
So, and when they prepare for the kind of cake they will have, the kind of visual magazine, the kind of
Mhm.
MC, whether it's flavor that will come and all those kind of things, they forget that by 5 p.m., all those people, thank God, EFCC
Ah,
has reduced the way they spray money. Before, they will spray money and spray money and spray money. By 5 p.m., all those people are gone. And you will now come face to face with the challenges and the responsibility of marriage. These are two different people wired differently with different, what we call temperamental affiliations. You can be a sanguine when your husband is a choleric. You can be a choleric when your husband is a phlegmatic or melancholic. So different temperamental differences, which are innate ideas, they are sacramentalized indelibly in our psychosomatic structure, and they determine our behavioral pattern and character formation. So these are very serious issues people don't know in marriage. That these are people who are wired in different enigmatic codes, different cultural backgrounds, just like you, that are coming from Ogoja. So you have a different cultural,
mm-hmm.
opposite of the Igbo cultural values. And you came now and you think it's easy to infuse both of you together with a core Enugu Nkano man who is conscious of tradition. You understand? And an Ogoja person coming with her own way of Ogoja cultural values. It's not easy. It's not easy. So it's not a bed of roses. It's a responsibility. You work it out. Each time two of you think of how will I work my marriage out, you see it working, and it
Yes.
will look as if it's magic. It's not magic.
Yeah.
When two of you are not giving into expectations, wonderful expectations from your partner, but giving into responsibility, what effort am I putting to make this thing work? When both of you are working that way, it will work. So that's just the what I want to add. But before we close now, um, how do you see cultural values, traditional values? Like, let's use example. Both of us are in US. It looks as if when people just land in this US, they will drop African cultural values in the Atlantic Ocean. And you see women who don't think of calling a cop on their husbands, they will start calling a cop on their husbands. And I saw a video today of two women who were prostrating before their husbands. They had a master's degree, they graduated, they were prostrating before their husbands, thanking them in UK for training them for masters. And there was one comment that was disturbing to me. Somebody said, now that you are prostrating for having this masters, remember when you start working, don't use because you are now working and getting money and forget that there was a time you were prostrating before this man. A lot has happened in this Western world against our cultural values, of which, if we had that our cultural values, which does not contradict Christianity, there are issues we would have avoided by now. So, what do you talk about these cultural values?
Okay. Cultural values for why we have the increased rate of either divorces in US than Nigeria, right? And women calling the cops and changing.
No, I'm not. I'm just giving you one example. There are a
Okay.
lot of cultural values,
Okay.
African cultural values, which are good, which enhances marriage, which, like, you understand, the issue of 50-50 is something that came up here. It's not in Africa. In
Yeah.
Africa, a man is the head of the house, and the responsibility to handle the house is on a man. If a woman is working, is a helper. That's the understanding of Africa. If you are working and your wife is working, you are just seeing your wife as somebody who is helping you to shoulder the responsibility of taking care of the family. It's not as if it's her responsibility. That's the African view. Do you understand? So, but
Yes.
this place, sometimes a man also sees, I'm not talking of any gender. When a woman is working and you are telling the woman, what are you bringing on the table? What are you bringing? In African setting, a man doesn't think of what a woman brings. And each time a woman brings anything on the table, she is so much appreciated, no matter how small it is. Because it is understood in African setup that it is not the responsibility of a woman to cater for the family. So a lot of, I can mention and go on and
Yeah.
go on. These values are depreciating. They are lacking in the Western
Yeah.
world,
Yeah.
especially when our women and men arrive here. So,
Yeah. So yes, so these cultural values, as you said, is really affecting marriages, and we are not able. I think how it's affecting is we are not able to live up to the pace of the revolution that is going on. That's the problem. Um, there's an advancement in the happening right now. This is the Western world. The Nigeria and other African countries have their cultures and values, but it's different here. But the expectation that both genders want is bringing that values here in America and living it here. While we think about that, we should also remember that the things happening in America are not happening in Nigeria. The
yes.
stress level here is different. The way of living here is different. So you cannot only extract one thing here and expect it to work totally. You understand? Um, you just said a little bit of it, like in Nigeria, or in Africa, the men work, and if the woman is working, is seen as support. But most, people here in America, they don't see a woman working as support, but see it as a responsibility because there's a responsibility to pay the bills and the children and everything. And the woman has the mentality that she's a helper and not a partner to do 50-50. So most times when this thing happens like that, the woman brings in that value from Nigeria or from Africa that no, the man should only provide. But you've forgotten that you're in the Western world where you need to assist your husband. And the man also brings the value that the woman must be 100% submissive, must do this one, do all the wash all the dishes, stay up at night, and do this one as the wife. You also forget that in Africa, most of those, the women in Africa don't work like the women here. So it's what I'm just gonna say is we've not been able to live up to the evolution, the changes. So we want to extract just what will benefit us. We don't want to modify ourselves. We, as the women, we need to modify ourselves. As the men, we also need to modify ourselves. Meaning, the woman needs your help here. You need a woman's help here. There are some things you see in the house. This is not a man's duty to pick up the baby's diaper. She needs your help do it. And this is even what the Bible is saying if we actually go back to those things. Okay, do not make it, oh, it's our duty or is his duty to do this one. We should learn to, you know, love ourselves and live. I don't believe in, I don't, I don't know how to say it, but I don't think the cultural value has really influenced my own marriage personally, anyways. I don't think so. But I know so many people that you will call and they will tell you that the wife is not submitting, and the wife will tell you, why will I submit? Am I not bringing money to the house? Am I not doing this one? So this country, I think that's why we have a high rate of divorce or something. This
Okay.
country has
Okay,
influenced our
mommy.
characters.
Mommy,
It,
let me tell you something. We
yeah.
don't need to be cosmetic about this because it has an integral effect on our listeners. Let me tell you, one thing we must be sincere with is that our cultural values are wonderful when it comes to sustenance of marriage. It has biblical anchor. It has divine anchor.
Mm-hmm.
Our cultural
That is also
values.
biblical.
That a
So,
woman is working 9 to 5 does not change the woman from being submissive. that the woman is providing for the house. Maybe I came here, my wife was a nurse. I came here, my wife started working. We both started working, but my wife was earning better than me the first time we came to America. So, and that will not be a reason why she should just talk. 6 months before I came to America, I bought my wife GL 450 Mercedes. Okay, and maybe 6 months after we came to America, and she has forgotten that this is a man who can go to market and use millions of naira, and you come back from work and say, "That mommy, look at that thing, there is your own." Do you understand what I mean? Mm-hmm. These are cultural values. You will know that even circumstances here has changed, but it doesn't remove the cultural values. It can still be applied, you understand, with the Western situation. It is all about mindset. So submissiveness has nothing to do with somebody earning bigger amount of money. It has nothing to do with the kind of job you're doing. You can be so lucky that you are even richer. There are some husbands. What is Okonjo-Iweala and all these things? They have husbands.
Oh, yeah.
When Dola Kunyere was alive, he had a husband. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but if you see them, they kept to their cultural values. So you can still be rich, you can still be exposed, you can still be highly placed, and still retain your cultural values that enhance marriage.
And as a matter of fact, the Proverb 31.
Mommy, I want to give you, sorry, man.
Okay.
You've seen the Indian community here?
Mm-hmm.
When you see the India, do you think that they don't like the Western world?
Oh, yeah, the Indian community, I don't think they're different. They're the same here. Yeah.
They are also working. They are working. Their husbands are working. Everybody are working. But they have not forgotten what they came with or what they were taught in India. That's why if you go to even divorce cases, all this struggle you're having every day, you know the kind of problem you are solving. How many of them are non-Africans?
Yeah.
Why?
Most of them.
Cultural values have been thrown in the Atlantic Ocean. Our people should be taught to pick those cultural values that do not contradict the scripture and is not frowning vehemently at the Western values. It's just that you want to show up. If you do it, nobody will question you. It's not against the law. If you say you are submissive to your husband, will it be against you, the law? It will never. Instead, the law will even support it. You see? So it's not until you bring your problem out, that's when the Western situation will come and interpret the situation for you. But if you respect yourself in the house, nobody will come to your house and start interpreting your values.
Yeah.
So that is what I want us to bring out, because many people will just check it. Once they arrive here, it seems as if what we are doing in Africa is a cake and should be thrown to the garbage.
No. To just add from what you're saying, okay, I think the Bible was written from Africa, because if you see the description of a virtuous woman, you would understand what I'm saying. Now, the Proverb 31 woman tells us how a virtuous woman is of noble character, and went ahead and said, who can find such a woman? If you find that she's far more valuable than rubies. And when you go down and read everything about a virtuous woman, you see that the virtuous woman is a hard-working woman. So if you come here and say, I'm working hard and I cannot submit to my husband, remember that you are not working harder than a virtuous woman. A virtuous woman that has barns and farms, buys plots of lands, and even have enough money to dash out. And the Bible still tells us of how much her husband is respected even from the gate. You see? So, culture is not, our culture in Africa is not against, what the Bible is even saying about marriage.
Sure.
Because our culture in Africa talks about submitting to the man. It emphasizes the submission, the respect for our husbands, the need not to talk back. And everything is here in the Bible. So when you think, oh, that's cultural, remember, okay, let's even leave culture. Let's talk to biblical. Let's leave. Okay, you say it's cultural, you don't follow culture. Okay, let's talk. Is the Bible also old? Or is the Bible cultural? Because if the Bible is saying that woman submit to your husband, he's the head.
Simple. Yeah, I love that.
And the Bible is saying that the man, you love your wife, right? As Christ loved the church. It means that there's no way you can say, I want to please God, and has not pleased your husband first. Now, as a woman, you're responsible to first your husband and God. God did not say boycott your husband and come for, be responsible for me. He said to your husband first, be answerable to him first, then me. Then the man is answerable to God, then you, the woman. But the beauty of this thing is God in his infinite wisdom knows that there is no way we can perfect this relationship without perfecting ourselves together. If you say you're answerable to God, you the man, and not your wife first, you cannot please God without doing what God has asked you to do for your wife. It comes down to her. And you, the woman too, that God is saying that first, submit to your husband as unto thy Lord. First him. Just submit first to him. Then to me. You know that, yes, you cannot have a better relationship with God if you've not had a better relationship with your husband. Right? So I think many people may likely go to hell because they were unable to manage their marriage. Because if you cannot manage it where you're not pleasing God, how can you make heaven when you're not pleasing God? Your marriage is part of the task that God has given to you. Except you say you want to be a father or something, celebrate, and you're not getting married. Okay. But if you're married, you have a responsibility. And part of that responsibility is doing the work of God. Now, just coming back to the cultural value you're talking about, there are so many things in the Bible that is closely linked to that cultural thing. Like I said earlier, the obedience to your husband, the submission to your husband. And if you say you are a virtuous woman, your character defines you. That's what the Bible said. She is one with a noble character. Virtuousness is not because you have wealth and treat your husband anyhow. No. Another place in the Bible that talks about it is Proverbs 12:14. A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband. You know a crown? So if you're a good woman, your husband is already putting on a crown of respect, of loyalty, anywhere he goes. But she who causes shame is like rottenness to his bone. So if you're here and you say, oh, culture, you're making money, you're a virtuous man, you're rich and this, and that's everything because your husband is things and everything, it's like rottenness to his bone. God will hold you responsible. America should not change who you are as a woman. And America too should not change who you are as a man. Because most men think that in Africa, you can maltreat the woman and, just still be the man. Remember, you have God to be accountable to. Okay? God has not given you the woman to maltreat. He told you one thing, love her. There's no pain in love. There's no maltreatment in love. He did not say the woman is your slave. He said she's your helpmeet. Okay? So, this country should not change who we are. And the whole calling of cops things, I don't know. I just tell people, if your marriage has gotten to the point where you think it has abuses and everything, separate, not divorce. Even Jonah was separated from others. So when you separate with somebody, it gives God time to deal with the person. When the children are, they say, God, don't throw them out. Oh, it's causing this turbulences here. So when your marriage is too turbulent, separate. He didn't say divorce. Let God deal with the situation. A person go and have everything, you have everything, and later you can come back. He didn't say call the cops or put your spouse behind bar. I'm not a promoter of that. Because remember, if you curse one person Now, especially when you start having children, okay? If you cause this man or this woman to lose everything they have, remember, you've started a foundation that will continue. Sometimes we met a foundation of things from what our parents did. Sometimes we build and create a foundation of how our children will live. Okay? So the things you do here, remember the Bible said, teach a child, train the child in the way that they should grow. And if they do, they will not depart away from it. The training are the things they see you do. Okay? So the way you live your life is how they would live theirs as a continuation. That's why when you see parents, children from broken homes, they also have this thing, in them. Sometimes a little harshness and a little everything in their life because they saw everything that happened. So you can either get rid of the foundation of what you met or create one for yourself and for your children. If you create one by calling the cops, you probably have, when your husband is angry or you're angry, instead of walking out, go cool off or separate, you say, okay, let me put them behind bars. You probably have a son who will be put behind bars too in the future, or a daughter who is going to put the husband behind bars or something. So this is what the devil wants. We're not saying abuse your wife. Men, keep your hands to yourself. The strength that God gave you is not to use it and hit your wife, is to use it to protect your wife. Okay? God did not give you the strength. That's why he said she's a weaker vessel. So you have a stronger muzzle. You were created with those muzzles for some reason. They were made for you to protect her, guide her, not hit her. So keep your hands to yourself. When you're angry, walk out of the scene, cool off. If you have to stay out for days, do that. But don't hit your wife so that she don't react in an adverse way. And wife too, do not react based on the actions. If you think that the house is leaking, pack your things away. And one thing I'm going to say before we go is you cannot counter a spirit with the same kind of spirit. It's very important. If your husband is hot, you must be cold. If your husband is harsh, you must be laid back. If your husband is proud, you must be humble. See, two kind of spirits cannot coexist. There will be battles. Okay? You have never seen where they quench fire with fire. You quench fire with water. So when you learn those things in marriage, you better protect it and you live according to the Spirit of God and the Word of God. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you to all the viewers too. I'm telling all of you, thank you for hanging on. I see
Yeah,
your
thank
comments.
you.
God bless you.
Yeah, thank you for all you've done too. But before I drop, because we're not existing in isolation, we're existing in the society, and whenever there's something that's trending, when you see people of God like you, we bring it. There's this trending thing about the choosing testimonies, how people give testimonies in choosing, the people that collected gun from people, the people that were writing exam. You must have been seeing, I am a chosen, who are you? It has been on social media, all this one.
Yeah.
You see? And a lot of people who belong to different blogs have reacted. So some say, some are the opinion that there's nothing God can do, and people should not mock God by doing it as a challenge and mimicking God. Some said it's also a lesson to Christianity that people should not be so emotional and put up lies just to create testimonies. So you, as a custodian of God's altar, so what do you want to say about that?
Okay. First, I've seen some people wear something and said I'm not choosing, but sincerely, I have, with all humility, I have not listened to whatever started the trend or generated that. From your understanding, that people gave some kind of testimonies, right? That they felt it was not something. Also, I've just been so busy fixing things.
Okay.
So
If
Yeah,
you
what was
go
it?
today,
If you can just tell me
just
one
go
of the
to the
testimonies, I'll know how
just
to
go to
react.
the YouTube, go to
Okay.
YouTube and type, I am a chosen. Who are you? Just when you go home today, type it on
Okay.
on the
Okay.
YouTube, you will see it is trending for a
Uh,
long time, you know. So no problem. Thank you
I will
for
definitely
coming.
look that out. I'll, I'll look that out and I'll probably send a response. You can post the
Okay,
response when I
no
send it.
problem. Thank you. Before we draw the curtain finally for the day, what will you tell the world about? What do you think about this Chinedu Anichi platform?
I already said it before.
Yeah.
It's Look, it's a beautiful platform. I want you to always tune in and watch him. Sachin is a very intelligent man, and I spoke with him, I think 2 days ago, and he got on a video call with me. Though I said I don't want my face shown, no, I'm still doing something, and then but yeah, he showed me his. I'm just saying it because I'm very proud of what you're doing. There are certain things that people do, and some say they are looking for views, they are looking for money. It's not everybody that is just looking for money. Some people are doing this because of the passion they have for it and the love they have for it. And he is doing it for the love and passion he has for it. Because I got on a video call with him and then he showed me his business, his car lot. I couldn't count how many cars. Especially my birthday is December. I'm saying it out because I'm believing God that you bless me with a car. I'm saying it out here. Everybody will hear it. Yes, because I'll remind you and I'll post it again on my platform and say, look, I told him oh. But I want to tell you that I saw over 100 cars. Over 100 cars. Like yeah, this is big. I'm like, okay, Nigerian is doing this. I'm very proud of him. And he showed me his media room and every other thing he's doing. And I can tell you that he's not a small man. That's why I can tell him he has to give me a car for my birthday gift. He's not a small man. But he is maintaining this every day. I said, how do you do it? I can't do this every day. He said, I do Monday to. I was like, this is surely a gift. There's an anointing in his life to do this. He's transforming so many people. Like he told you, some celebrities come here and just air out. Look, what kills people is the things that are settled inside of them. When you cannot blow it out and air it out, that's what kills most of them. There's so much that is settled inside that we cannot let out. Okay? So his platform is helping people heal too. It may not be like my platform that we talk Bible and everything. Even though my platform, I know there are some people that are really we can't do, but he is really impacting on lives. He's brought so many people, senators, U.S. senators has been on his platform, politicians, people all over the world has been on his platform and is making impact. So I want to tell you to please key in and watch him more often. You will love this platform. I watch it too. Yes, I watch it. I'm sure I'm officially identifying with it. I love his platform. I love what he's doing. I love the way he's talking and how he's changing lives. And I can tell you that he's a good man. This platform is not paying him. He's doing it for the love of it. As a matter of fact, he's investing on this platform. The things
Sure.
I saw on his, in his studio, uh, were a lot. So yeah, he's an awesome person and he's a good man too. He's somebody you can reach out to, and whatever best advice he can give to help, he does that. And whatever ways he can help you, he goes all the way out to do it for you. So he's a gentleman. And let me tell you, the people who will make heaven are not just the people that goes to church. Most of the people you see in church are not righteous. You'll be so shocked seeing some regular person make heaven. So for those of you that say, I would never watch any other platform except a Christian platform. Well, if somebody is doing something meaningful, because we don't just live in the church, right? You have other people, you're going to mingle with people that are not in the church, that are Muslims, it's a place of work. You, as the children of God, you have to get knowledge from everywhere and come to use it to enhance yourself. The only thing is, don't get knowledge from bad places and try to. Because the devil knows Bible now. Everything about God, the devil knows. You understand? And he knows the other one. So why won't you take his own knowledge and still put so that when he plays this trick like this, you know where he's going? But we are so narrow-minded, we just want to stick to like this and we're going like this. No. And that's why we're not in the place of power. The children of God are not in the place of power. They are not not in the positions. They are not in the place of wealth. Because they just feel like, okay, it's just going to be this way. They don't want to take wisdom from here and from here. They don't want to be engaged in other things. I am open to so many things. As long as it's not sinful, as long as it does not go against my belief. If you come here on this platform and you're telling me about your life, what you went through in the music industry, yes, I'm going to listen to it. You're human. You're created by God. You're hot. I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to tune in and I'm going to hear what you're saying. So yeah, please tune in. It's a beautiful platform. And thank you so much for having me, Mr. Chinedu. God bless you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, big sister. My people, thank you. Begin giving a very big shout out to our sister prophetess Francisca Emmanuel from all the way from Dallas. Um, Remember, on the 28th of September, there will be a mind-blowing encounter of a matrimonial, social, economic,
Yeah.
divine teaching on marriage, how to make a choice first, how to tolerate each other, how to consolidate and sustain the continuity of that established rapport, which is divine, which is an institution that God respects so much. So let's see you. Make sure we see you in Dallas.
Thank you very much. See you in Dallas, the
Yeah.
28th of September, 2024. Don't miss it. Come to Dallas, Texas. The information will be on my page, and also here. The red carpet for that day is 4 p.m. Please don't miss the red carpet. It's going to be an awesome time to see you and to communicate with you under the cameras and for you to say something. And then the main event start at 5 p.m. We'll have incredible performers. We'll have Kelly and Sam, we have Tito the Fire, we have Aaron T. Aaron. And there are going to be more appearances, more people coming that's going to perform. And we have Bishop Kate Cowers, we have Pastor Daniel Chinonso and Chinonsa and myself and my husband. And more people are going to speak to you that day. I can tell you, please come. Come hear testimonies. Come hear other people talk, how they were able to overcome certain things. Just come listen. It's going to be power packed. Dance time, funny moments, refreshments, everything. Don't miss the event.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir,
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Thank you.
Yes.
Let's talk our talk. African boys in the diaspora. Chinedu Anichi TV. Voice of the voiceless, yo. Chinedu Anichi TV. Make we talk our talk, yo. Chinedu Anichi TV. Nobody can talk our talk for us, yo. Chinedu Anichi TV. Africa's a rise. Time don't reach, yo. Make we talk our talk, oh yeah, everybody China Chinedu Anichi TV. No day they happen, no. No day they selenge. We don't talk our mind, yo. As it be na so we don't talk about. Mama, papa, brother, sister, even the youth, oh. Subscribe and follow Chinedu Anichi TV. Eba fukona botumo, eba fukona me.
What are you waiting for?
But who be the voice of Africa in diaspora? Chinedu Anichi TV. Voice of Africa, what they show. Chinedu Anichi TV. Now where we go there. Chinedu Anichi TV. Gather your family, call everybody. Oh. Chinedu Anichi TV. Listen what the one no way go them.
Yeah, a big shout out to that one was a wonderful jingle from Prince Nwodo, a great musician and a high king of high life in Southeast Nigeria. That was his own contribution. and his own support to Chinedu Anichi TV. And that is wonderful. Today, we're wrapping it up and drawing it cutting here. I love you, all of you who watch from different platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and all others. Please, thank you. And all of you who have time. Remember, we're always here. I will inform you tomorrow, 8 p.m. Nigerian time, 2 p.m. Central American time. Another guest will be here, and it will be mind-blowing. I love you. I said I love you. Go out there and succeed. But don't forget to help humanity. We rise and lifting others. See you. God bless you.
Anichi TV, nada ide abuno, nada ide selenge. We dey talk our mind.